On the show today, we're talking about another NASCAR driver running a bunch of dirt races, an update on the future of Bristol. I've got more tire shortage news, and we'll look at who's going to Bridgeport tonight for the 410 show. Let's go. Today is Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. Welcome into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. Following in the footsteps of his dirt racing brethren, NASCAR Cup driver Chase Briscoe announced yesterday that he is partnering with his Cup sponsor Mahindra to run quite a few dirt races this year. They're calling it the Chase and Dirt Tour, and Briscoe will make appearances in wing and non-wing sprint cars, midgets, micros, and a super late model. We've seen Briscoe run in the midget plenty in the past, including in a lot of the indoor stuff like the Chili Bowl and the BC39. He's also made scattered starts elsewhere, including in that IRA show at Plymouth last year in advance of the NASCAR weekend at Road America. This deal seems to be a little more formal, though, and Briscoe also shared several of the potential 25 times he'll race, which includes the USCS sprint car shows this weekend at the Talladega short track. And in case you don't know, NASCAR is at Talladega this weekend. The short track is right across the street from the big track. He's also got the Flow Racing Night in America Series race at Brownstown next week, the May XR races at Charlotte, the Extreme Outlaw Midget Opener at Millbridge, the Flow Night in America show at Tri-City in June, followed by a MOA Sprint Car and World of Outlaws late model doubleheader at Tri-City on June 3rd. There's two 410 sprint car shows in early July, and then the BC39 USAC Midget shows at Indy. But this is probably only around half of the schedule he's planned for the year. It is cool to see another driver focusing on crossing over, and the fact that he's already guaranteed into the NASCAR playoffs has probably helped his cause here in making this all happen. The tie-ins with Mahindra Tractor will work well with the dirt racing audience also. I believe the sprint car and midget stuff will be Briscoe's own equipment. We've seen him field those cars before. The late model he'll run, though, is a Longhorn chassis in partnership with Indiana driver Kent Robinson. As for how he'll do in all of these events, we know Briscoe is fast in the open wheel stuff. We've seen that plenty of times before. On the late model side, though, I have no idea how much experience he has, so that could be interesting to see Briscoe in the late model. To keep up with Chase, go find him on his various social media accounts and chasebriscoe.com. In other news from yesterday, we found out that the Bristol dirt race for NASCAR will again be back on the schedule in 2023, so you'd have to assume that means potentially another round of some of the more traditional dirt races at the track. This year, that included the 2 weeks of XR events plus the upcoming World of Outlaws weekend. There aren't concrete details about plans for next year, but it would make sense for the track to try and maximize the racing for all of the cost and effort of putting down the dirt surface. I think some were hoping this was the final time this would happen at Bristol, but the TV ratings were good, and NASCAR will keep going if that is the case. According to Sports Business Journal's Adam Stern, the race earned just north of 4 million viewers on Sunday. That was the highest Bristol viewership they've had since 2016. It's tough to argue with those numbers regardless of what you think of the racing on the dirt at Bristol. The first All-Star weekend of the season is complete, and now that series will head to Pennsylvania this weekend for several shows. Before they do, though, a lot of those teams and quite a few of the Pennsylvania drivers will be at Bridgeport in New Jersey tonight for the Invasion of the Posse 410 show. Looks like the weather is going to cooperate, and the field should be pretty solid. We know Christopher Bell is coming with the Swindell Speed Lab 39. We'll see All-Star regulars Justin Peck and Kyle Reinhart, plus guys like Danny Dietrich, Freddie Raymer, Anthony Macri, Brent Marks, and Lucas Wolf. Guess it will be right around 30 cars for the show tonight. The race is $7,500 to win, and it's not part of any series or sanction, so guys will just be flat out for the victory. Kerry Madsen won this race a year ago, driving the Mike Barshinger-owned ride, and it wasn't too long after that that Madsen was out and headed over to TSR. Bridgeport has had a lot of work done to it in recent years, and the show last year was solid, so don't sleep on this race tonight. Plus, who doesn't love a little midweek sprint car action? I believe this will be the first time we'll see Bell in a sprint car this year. He was supposed to run Dirt Car Nationals with Kevin and Jordan Swindell, but those plans were dashed earlier this year. We have seen Bell in the midget a few times, and he's been running his micro at Millbridge on Wednesday nights here near Charlotte. Joining the 410 sprint cars tonight at Bridgeport will be 602 Sportsman, and if you can't get to the track, Flow Racing has live coverage. And buckle up, folks, because I think the next few weeks and months could be dominated by talk of who has tires and who doesn't to run some of these dirt races. After the American Racer stuff from the last day or so, there seems to have been a ramp up in updates regarding the situation around dirt racing tires. Yesterday afternoon, the USAC East Coast Sprint Car Series, that's a non-wing 360 series, announced the cancellation of this Friday's race at Bedford Speedway, citing fuel prices, toll fees, and the lack of available sprint car tires. The Saturday show at Port Royal is still on, but the series also has axed the upcoming May 5th race at the Bloomsburg Fair Speedway. So 2 lost shows for the USAC East Coast racers. And Jamie Weekneck, who covers Northeast Modified Racing, tweeted that Big Diamond is cutting their Friday 358 mod feature back to 35 laps. Fonda and Utica Rome are opening up their tracks to using Hoosiers, their normally American racer tracks. And Delaware has canceled their April 30th modified show due to the tire shortage. And I mentioned on the show yesterday that Jeremy Elliott was working on a tire story, and he posted that yesterday. His piece was very much focused on the central Pennsylvania sprint car scene on the upcoming All-Star shows, but there wasn't really a whole lot of new information in his piece. As is the case around the country now, tire dealers are starting to ration tires to teams, and things could get tight in Pennsylvania and elsewhere in the coming weeks as distributors run low on that H15 sprint car right rear tire. I think we're coming to a critical point for the 2022 season with these tire issues, especially as most tracks around the country are now either open or will be very shortly. I would think with the high-profile nature of the racing and their weight in the industry, that the big series will probably be less affected by the tire problems. The manufacturers won't want to be blamed for losing World of Outlaws or Lucas shows. I think the rubber that is being produced will be funneled in that direction. And I think the smaller and local and regional shows will be ones to bear the brunt of the tire shortages. If this is something you want me to continue talking about, let me know in the comments or via social media. This tire situation feels like it kind of could turn into the COVID stuff again, where I'm on here talking about race cancellations every single day. And I think that could get old really quick. But if you think that's valuable for me to keep following this for you, let me know in the comments below. On the Dirt Racing podcast front, it's another week and another round of new episodes from the various shows. Wing Nation has Tony Bachhoven, Loud Pedal has Danny Dietrich, and they preview the All-Star season ahead. Passing Points has Tim Crawley, Ohio Dirt has Dan McCarran, and there are new episodes of Open Red, The Dirt Reporters, The Dirt Nerds, and a new show has debuted on the podcast page. Dirt Tracks and Rib Racks covers a lot of Indiana and Midwest racing. To see the full list of shows and episodes, head over to dirttracker.com/podcasts. And there are 3 shows on today's streaming schedule. Dirt Vision has micros from Millbridge, and Flow Racing has that 410 show from Bridgeport. They also have Flow 24/7. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. That's it for the show today. Have a good Wednesday. If you have thoughts about the topics on today's show, please leave them in the comments below or tweet at me. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.